Saturday Showdown. D plus Kia versus Team
Denying
One.
it doesn't necessarily make sense. They will take the Ezreal. And so now do you play Xayah for safety into the Ahri Xinjiao, or do you play... Okay, I wasn't going to suggest Ashe or Jhin, but there's the Kai'Sa, which... Those are the three that you're really thinking about. I don't like the Jhin in this draft that much.
I don't like AD Kai'Sa very much either, so I wouldn't like that one.
Zeri is kind of the odd duck here, but it is certainly what Gio has gone to a lot in the past, and it hyper-indexes into the scaling. The Alistar will get you through a lot of those early team fights.
I'm worried though, because that's a lot of early, you don't have a lot of early power.
Yeah, you don't really have early power anywhere.
Yeah, Zeri Alistar is just kind of a losing lane no matter what. And so, where is the winning lane for Gideon to play around? And the answer is nowhere.
Yeah.
And so Canyon, if he can be in good positions, Genji could really get this snowball rolling.
I do think Coach Kim, with his facial expression, says it all. I think he's pretty happy with how this draft eventuated. I think there's a lot of really strong potential if Nongshim can get through the early mid-game.
On the map in the early stage, and if everything's on fire, this composition could snowball it beautifully, especially with the range advantage that they do have. So let's dive onto the Rift, see whether Nongshim can survive.
Or team fights with his ultimate if you can get positional advantage, but I think the best bet, to be honest, for Nongshim is a Zeri moment, right? Where there's a big overextension from Genji, Gio gets 3 kills, and then we skip part of the wait to get Zeri to 2 and 3 items, and you just get ahead. Maybe a level 6 all-in in the old meta, where we used to see Zeri get kills in the duo lane, but it doesn't really feel like that's as relevant these days with the nerfs we've seen to Zeri over
what he can find, actually considering rotation from
He's just looking for this one now.
Yeah, is he just going to walk in and smite it? There it goes. Yep. Steals it away, and Gideon not going to be able to react in time. Wind becomes lightning. And now Canyon thinking about doing even more. And you were mentioning the priority. Well,
yeah, they don't.
Chovy just gets to walk in. Oh, no. Gideon, you're not allowed to do this. Charm is going to connect. That means that he cannot get out of the way. The flash forward, and Chovy picks up the first blood.
You know, pretty. They don't go subjective. They're just kind of neutral.
All right, now I feel like this is a Hail Mary already. And I know it's kind of crazy, right? That's not even 1,000 gold in the lead or anything like that. Gideon did actually go back home, but it felt like he was like, well, my jungle is doomed. I need to find a gank.
See some of the pathing and some of the fact that Gideon isn't playing the game. Now they could just take the dragon and reset, and then we'll also be able to contest grubs at 8 minutes. So...
Gideon shadowing towards the top side, but look at this, Keen just giving him absolutely no avenue in. Canyon on this dragon right now. Gideon's going to walk over yet another ward that he will be able to at least remove, but Canyon gets the news that the bottom lane is on Genji. They immediately move into the river as Lehans is moving over. Yeah, he does have his Unbreakable Will, as Chovy and Jiu going to be walking in at the same time. The close in from Genji is so scary. Hook going to connect there onto Lehans, but he backs away. Keen's moving over. There's an equalizer from Kingen, but now he's going to get closed off. Still, they dive on towards Canyon, who flashes over the wall, tries to get towards Kingen to get out, but that is not going to help him. Empress Divide onto Chovy as they boop away Gideon. These Nongshim health bars are going low, but they're standing up in this team fight really nicely. Kingen getting over as well. He is still looking aggressive. The hook is going to be returned, though, and Ruler just takes down his former bottom lane partner. Extendo Beam not able to take down Keen, but the Grubs are trying to. Ruler might have to try and get out of here, and Jiu's going to be able to get a kill. I don't know about that one from Ruler, and Gideon doesn't even fall. It's a double kill for nicely, especially with the main character Jiu's situation on this Zeri, and he's now sitting at 2-0-1.
I mean, they got 2 grubs out of the fight as well. It wasn't just like they gave up the whole objective to win.
Well, Jiu's going to come on in as that buffer was gorgeous. Gideon unable to use the Keeper's Verdict, and Keen wants to go to the skies. That anchor didn't quite work out there, and to the skies comes down again, and now Jiu's just going to kill both of them.
I don't think it's normally allowed to certify twice, but guess right now, and it's not really the big spike he's looking for necessarily to crush a team fight despite the lead that he has, but first item will be able to do a ton of damage to this relatively squishy carry composition.
Ooh, Dora looking for a little bit of an anchor, but was spotted on Vision.
I think he's probably just going to keep pushing this, as there's just not really a way to enter here, even if he did TP. Take an opportunity to back instead and pick up his Leandries.
Lehens still
Calyx.
looking for an opportunity. Calyx strength as Keeper's Verdict goes completely wide. Canyon walking down the equalizer, though, is a little dangerous. He is just going to tank it to see what he can get done as Gideon down very low. The Dragon forgotten about by Nongshim. They'll just... As Chovy now looking for Calyx, who does get electrocuted, and Chovy gets out of there, doesn't hit the charm. No worries. Ruler looking to see what he can do as Lehens. Oh my goodness. These Mystic Shots really start to hurt. They are indeed starting Articon. You can see there's a lot of armor and magic resist now missing from Gideon and Jiu.
They're committing.
Yeah, Keeper's Verdict comes down, and the buffer is gorgeous. Down goes Gideon, and now it is just a matter of one smite from Canyon. He goes in, he grabs the Articon, and now he's on top of Jiu. Will the knockup come on through? The flash out from Kingen. And they are just trying to keep as many alive as they can. But Nongshim, you didn't need to do that.
No, you didn't need to do that. And I get the idea because you have Poppy, and so you're like, well, we just keep him away, and it'll be fine.
Drew has done that a second time in a row.
Yeah, no, and kind of wipe away some of the scaling aspects we've been talking about with the lead they have is to commit to the Otacon there like that. As Chovy.
Yep. He is elected that it's Xerxes that's going to die, as Mega Blast Cone does bring Chovy into the Dragon Pit. This is Chemtech Soul, though, ladies and gentlemen. And Chovy is dashing over walls, looking for some opportunities. Empress Divide is going to throw him back, and it's Canyon that's the target. He throws down the ulti, the equalizer not going to connect, and Canyon somehow survives! Chovy is tanking 2 people, though that's another kill going over to Jiu, as Ruler gets hit by the extendo beam. But the fact that Canyon lives really keeps Genji in with a shot as far as this Dragon is concerned.
There's no ults here for Nongshim. I don't know if they can actually fight this without Jiu's especially, but with no equalizer, Kingen's gonna have to do some big heavy lifting. He's charging up his heat, and he wants to go in.
Yeah, well, he gets in, he mega codes into the backline as they just evaporate him. Jiu trying to stand his ground. These are some low health bars, an opportunity for the Zeri. Gideon goes in, and down he goes as well. And Jiu, he was a one-man army in the early game. And unfortunately, it's not enough later on.
On to Calyx and taking him out wins the fight for them.
And you know what the worst thing is? It's now easier for him to do it. As Chovy goes in, the charm is blocked by Lehens, and yeah, my heart would go on. Do anything about it as Duro, Hex flashing in, looking for that opportunity as never mind. Actually, no, it was Hex Flash, and now he has his real flash up. Calyx is going to be able to grab some bounty gold by taking out this outer turret on the bottom side of the map.
Duro has had so many good Nautilus games. And Genji are now too big to fail, I would say.
Well, Canyon is just walking towards Gideon, and Gideon, with a late steadfast presence, is going to just leave. And the fact that he's allowed to do that is a big deal. Calyx trying to dissuade Canyon from diving underneath the turret solo. I don't think he would have done it necessarily, especially with Genji able to push for free here in this mid lane. Creating those man advantages, getting in there, getting control of the jungle. And Nongshim really looking a little worse.
They're just fishing for any pick. A kill onto a carry means the game ends. Waves are crashing through. Land's looking for an angle.
They feel like they may have identified something here as Canyon throws down the ulti. He's trying to keep himself alive. They're losing their base in response, but the jungler does go down. Now Calyx, a possible angle here, but he is just anchored up and destroyed. Great charm there from Chovy to start it all. And so that spells the end of the inhibitor. It evens it out to a 4v4. And Nongshim, they're already so far behind. Gideon goes in. The equalizer is desperate, but it is on the right position. Ruler going kind of crazy here against Jiu, who just kills him. The prediction from Duro! Oh, give this man POM. Recency bias can get out of my video games. I want to write it down right now. This guy is so good. He lands another one. He may fall. He doesn't even die.
Duro, that was insane.
What?
I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said he was good at Nautilus, but that's not exactly the level of play I was expecting. I think that's not a Nautilus thing, that's just a genius God Gamer moment.
Well, he lands yet another hook. This time it is just a sad Kingen who is watching his Nexus explode. It does.
내리로. 노플. 타워 더 할게. 와, 이게 죽어? 노플이야. 야, 오케이. 이게 죽네. 야, 셀레는 딱 나오나? 나 메어플 영불한테 되긴 해. 나 스킬 없다. 스킬 없어. 괜찮을 것 같긴 한데. 괜찮아. 끌어줄게. 럼블이야. 오케이. 라인 두개 와서 한 번에 내자. 계속 와봐. 나 메어플 보게. 왜 저기로 가봐. 아니다. 나이스. 이제 힘싸움이 온 거 같아.
With the Poppy ult, seems like a good idea, but Duro outplays it. The attempt there to cut Canyon off with the Emperor's Divide to then control that fight going into Soul seems like a good idea on paper, seems like a fantastic catch by Calyx, but they get outplayed by Canyon, who actually plays it so brilliantly and takes him out using his ultimate there on the flash forward. And it's moments like this where you're like, can anyone stop this team, even with a mind?
Yeah, so
Blind as well.
yeah, Yorick hasn't necessarily been performing super well here in the LCK, which is why we groan a little bit, even if elsewhere he has found some success.
All right, so win or loss, how many, with this Camille lock-in, how many deaths do you think Lehens has this game on the Elise?
Ooh.
I'm going 7+.
I was thinking 7+.
7+.
That was my immediate thought in my brain.
Even if he wins this game, it is a 7+ death game on this Elise, because who do you find, who do you catch? Like, you know, there's not a lot of angles outside the lane. The lane isn't even that great. Like, I feel like this Elise pick is really going to come back to bite Nongshim, especially because they opted for Sejuani Yorick as their top jungle setup here, jungle top setup. And they did it blind, so now King gets to play the Camille. The lockdown onto this Varus is pretty insane. The follow-up Camille Galio, I mean, it's a tale as old.
It's a little bit more difficult to be able to play that. But this is Lehens on the Elise. So it tracks a little differently to our other Elises. We'll see whether he can make the magic happen and bring us to a game 3. Make it at least a 5-gamer here today. Second game of our final series, and already Nongshim have opted in for a little bit of cheese. Looking to see whether they can find anyone here towards the bottom side. You may as well. Does sacrifice a little bit of an ability to get deep vision down, but worth doing to see whether you can possibly try and find yourself an angle.
100% about the bottom 2v2. You know, if you get control of that brush first, sometimes that alone is worth the 5-man down there. You're not necessarily hoping to kill someone who face checks, but you get that ward on the brush, and sometimes that alone can be how you get level 2 first and win the lane. So we see this a ton when it's, you know, something like an Elise lane, or if it's Varus, you know, some of the double marksman comps we saw from T1 in the past, where you're playing Halo Blades Varus trying to win, you're playing an Ashe lane, you need to win. If it's like Renata versus, you know, Renata Draven versus a Kalista lane, all that kind of stuff, because this is the value right here.
Well, they're going to spot Lehens immediately. We're going to check out Canyon as he flashes over the wall, and he didn't want us to check it out.
It was really funny. The emote, he's like, don't look at me!
Yeah, the emote was so perfect.
It was so perfect, could not have been more perfect.
Especially when they were like fighting 2v2 there on the bottom side, as Canyon enemy bottom side.
And they got the vision in that brush, and then it still didn't work yet.
What did Gideon say to Canyon this morning, by the way?
So Canyon can just very safely come over here for this game.
Oh no.
Yep.
Calyx gonna get jumped on. There's a flash. The flash taunt comes on out there as well. The Winds of War, and there is the shield, but the Colossal Smash. Well,
yeah, so
Victor's won 7 in a row, and that may end here.
Yeah, that's
unless Gideon has something to say about it. Lehens is skittering after Dura. It's a great handshake, but doesn't connect it with Jiu, and Ruler just hops out of the way.
now he's hopping back in. Like, I think he was considering a flash Q on Jiu there.
Cocoon going to connect there as Ruler walking up once again. He's slowed as he flashes and just picks up the kill onto Jiu. Up into the air goes the Elise, and down goes Ruler, but that was a crazy play. Sort of made my brain explode a little bit as Keen will find a hookshot into King. And in the meantime, Canyon is killing Sejuani. And if you just, oh my
goodness. Time had the empowered Q. And yeah, I saw that on the player cam from a moment before. So at this point, Ruler's like, can I flash for this? Duro does not have level 3, does not have the bailout. And then Ruler doesn't tank this and cleanse it for Duro. Duro has to flash, gets perma'd, and then Jiu's too low. Ruler's like, all right, I'm going in for this.
Yeah, and it was because Duro actually hit the skill shot that got Jiu low enough, and so then the flash auto meant that the auto was in the air, so there was no way that he was doing anything.
If Canyon gets, if he like...
Oh, here's the dive on the top side of the map as the bailout not quite going to work out here as Gideon survives. And that's a kill going over to Kingin, and they'll also grab themselves a plate. As Keen gonna have to flash, he does manage to live, and Canyon's like, oh, I guess I'll just kill him then. And he does. Gideon's gonna go down though, as now Duro is just fighting off multiple people. Lehen's trying to tank. Duro's able to drink most of his potion.
And King has mid-prio.
Well, Keen not going to be able to just hookshot onto a person. That's not how that kind of works, as now he might need to get himself out of here. Cocoon going to connect though, and Keen survives for a little bit longer, but Gideon is just going to put him down.
Toby didn't ult in, and then Keen just got cut off. It was really well played by Nongshim. Like, Nongshim were like, okay, well, Keen's trying to get in. We're not going to allow that.
Made Oh,
but this is looking like it's going to be a full set here, as mid-prio makes it so difficult for anyone to get near. Canyon, all he has to do is not smite the second one, and then he can guarantee the third goes over his way with smite. Just not even a handshake on this.
Makes it feel special, as Chovy is going to have to taunt up Lahens here to try and keep himself alive, but he absolutely does. Flash still available. No real threat here. And
to play out, it's going to teleport back to mid as Lahens has a Cocoon angle.
Oh, I'm just watching the cannon, and it goes wide, but the Cocoon, like you say, does get off and does do some work there, as both cleanse and heal invested here on Genji's side. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Gio missed the cannon. Awkward as well, because this comp is kind of gauged towards, okay, that is going to be Canyon stealing it away and Gideon now being in trouble. Taunted back, and Bristle and Sejuani are really in a rough spot. The Glacial Prison doesn't really do too much, and so the flash has to be employed. I really did like that bomb comment idea, as the handshake comes on through. Hostile takeover is down as well, as Lahens, he's staying alive for a really long time. There are so many sticks into this Elise, though, and he is just going to go down. Ruler will get immediately bailed out and then killed again, but he gets a double kill. Kingen, he teleported in. He's looking to see whether he can get even more in this game, as Canyon wants to kill Gideon. The flash forward, he'll get his prize, and now he's inside the ghoulie wall. He gets so much of his health back, though, and the shield comes in, and it's not enough to save him. The Maiden.
Very close game in terms of the gold. The problem is that 3 kills are on a Sejuani and 3 kills are on a Yorick. That's the kind of lines I'm seeing here. It's like, okay, they got something back. It's just not really feeling great, as TP is being committed to.
Yeah. Oh, the Justice Punch angle was gorgeous, as now Kingen trying to stay alive, and Keen, he can tank up that turret.
Has the bailout, and then here,
in the meantime, Duro is dead. And back to your usual programming.
So now Calyx actually did get the push here into the bottom lane, so he's going to pick up some plate gold as well.
Oh, Canyon is going to get cocooned. Ruler is over here, though. Lahens, oh dear. He is going to be able to hop on over towards... Oh, that was actually Ruler's little sentinel. That's very cute. As Keen just dives on top of Lahens, and Lahens is really dead. The approaching Chovy means that they cannot actually follow up on it, and so thanks for the leash, says Genji.
And they will take vision away as this squishy Elise as this goes on. They will get the Herald, it looks like here. Genji coming for a late contest. Maybe actually they can take it away from Nongshim.
Well, full vision, as we can see, the Maiden helping out. Canyon just going to move on over and say thanks for the leash. That was odd. They pick up the feats of strength, as there's the Glacial Prison. It connects onto Chovy, though. He's capable of ignoring it. And Duro, he is going to buy some space there. That was a cute little repel attempt, but Lahens is still so squishy and will go down. Chovy just walks into the middle of them. The Flash Justice Punch, down goes Gideon. And now even Keen is getting into it, because he can deliver Chovy into the top lane. Kingen, he's not out of the woods just yet. Canyon comes on over and gives him
patiently. His Ruler may be in trouble, maybe not.
Q is dead, Lahens is dead, and then... What?
Renata Callista, 7-kill Callista.
Yeah, he really utilized the bailout attack speed in order to make that one work.
A shield on a 7-kill Callista.
Yep.
And I think they're paying some of the consequences of that, but I think Genji are just playing overall the better game, and we can nitpick all we want, but Genji's not doing a whole lot of losing. They've only lost 3 games this season.
And it's not looking like Nongshim are going to be the team to hand them their first loss. I think a lot of us are going to be looking at our calendars for when Genji Humble Life Esports is going to be happening again, because I tell you what, it'd be pretty cute if they went 1-1 against one another, and that is sort of like the only loss both of these teams has.
It's match 71 on the 21st, so second to last week of play.
Yeah, so we're going to be saving the best till last, I guess, as far as that is concerned. And both Genji and HLE are going to have to keep up the lossless streak, as Ruler is going to be able to cleanse Gideon, and the Chains of Corruption just go wide. That's a lot of sticks. Fate's Call comes down. 3-man knock-up from Duro, and there is the ultimate as well. Jiu is going to get taken out, and Ruler is continuing to hop forward. Genji, this combination, when it works, it looks so good. And Nongshim don't have an answer to it, as Keen is going to dive forward. Kingen is put into the Hextech ultimatum. And sometimes ultimatums really do feel bad. We might get dancing
Herald? Question mark?
That would be crazy! As Canyon's gonna get the first charge. The first Nexus turret will go down. Genji is so far, it's a 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Shelly is not gonna be dancing because she is dead, unfortunately.
Yep. And
In live, they're engaging onto Chovy. The level of possible that a successful outcome from that is quite low. As Otacon hasn't been started just yet. Duro's going to be the one to take the chain CC this time as Canyon moves in. They know that Duro is dead. He gets a nice little handshake though, as now Canyon going forward. I don't know about that one. He flashes away immediately. And Keen, he goes in, he finds the backline, but he ults Gideon just to try and break up this fight. And Gideon, he is definitely a killable target because they are so incredibly far behind. Keen now just on cleanup duty. He finds the hook shot as Calyx with a crying bee is going to be moving away from this. There's the Grand Starfall. He knew that he was dead. And a gargoyle delivery as well is going to come in as Chovy realizes that they can just walk in the front door because they've already destroyed most of this space.
yeah, I think he's pretty happy to just walk up and say, yeah, 21.5 minutes in. I think that sounds about right.
Is this the shortest game
I'm
of this
looking.
season?
I'm looking.
Because I think it might just be. I don't think we've seen anything sub 20 minutes. And yeah, this is an absolute shellacking. Ruler dancing around the Nexus will put the last stick in there.
Pantheon was a good pick for Cannon. He played it like a long time ago, many times, before it was meta recently.
Yeah.
That one was not a new information. Nor was the Ruler, nor was the...
No, it was the Keen, no, it was the Chovy.
Yeah, no.
Duro, though, we're getting information, baby! Last time he picked up POM, he's got 100 points so far. He got it on Braum and Alistair. And if he got it this time, it would be on Nautilus and Renata, which would be very, very cool that he's got individual champions every time for his POM as such a new player.
Canyon still hasn't gotten any POMs.
All right, then hopefully it's going to be him. I mean, he ran the jungle, and Gideon has been performing really, really well. I think the resurgency of Nongshim is largely based on the fact that Gideon has been having better performances. But in this game, it was a ruler gap.
We didn't quite get the 7+ deaths on Lehens, but the game ended really fast.
Oh, wait. Maybe it's a Chovy angle, because if you have a look at this this gold graph, it's kind of like a right hand is...
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Canyon on the side of Genji. This is your first POM, Canyon. How do you feel? Yeah, it's been such a long time since I stood here getting interviewed. But being here after a long time, it still makes me happy. And you guys now have a 22-match winning streak. How does that feel? Yeah, we're actually doing so well. Our form is in great shape. And since we are still undefeated, I hope that we are able to continue our winning streak. And right, that's the 22-match winning streak against Nongshim. And from Nongshim's point of view, Genji must feel like an immovable mountain. So how do you feel about that dominant match history? You know, I wasn't a part of all of that match winning streak. But yeah, I think that matchup itself seems so dominant. It's actually quite surprising to see that kind of data. And in game 1, the enemy Zeri got fed, making it seem winnable for Nongshim. But Genji's gameplay was just so solid. So just what do you have to do to prevent a reverse sweep by Genji? You know, our team tries to catch every single trivial details, and that's just the way our team plays, and that's our style. So we try to minimize all those sort of mistakes. So I guess I can't really pinpoint the exact thing that makes us win the game, but you know, we're good. So you are so well aware of how Genji is just so flawless. And in game 2, you played Pantheon with the Camille and Galio lanes, so this draft showed your intent to start snowballing early. Do you think it played out as you planned? Yeah, I think it was a great start for us in the game. But there were some accidents in the middle of the game. But I think we're able to take the lead and try to take and utilize our advantage. And you were actually pulling out so many crack plays as a jungler with all the mind games in game 2. So how did you come up with the early jungle pathing? You know, the Victor's ward was in the river, and I noticed that, and I was well aware of that. So if I knew that as long as I flash over, that I would be able to take a lot of the lead and get that kill in mid. So I think that actually ended up snowballing the rest of the game. Yeah, good catch on that ward. And so with all those amazing plays, you were able to get the POM for the first time. So maybe you're just playing so well for that POM. Maybe Chovy's been getting too much POM. Yeah, Chovy's been doing really well, so he does deserve all the POM. That's just what I think. Looks like Genji is able to keep their undefeated streak because all the team's players are doing really well. So would you like to say anything to celebrate Parents' Day? Anything you want to say to your parents? I'm really glad that I'm able to win on Parents' Day, and I hope that my parents stay healthy and they live for a very long, healthy life. And your next opponent will be BNK FearX. What is your resolution? You know, BNK FearX, they're a really good team. They're very aggressive. So I hope that we're able to prepare well. And that's the end of the interview with Canyon, and back to the space. Thank you.